Here's something. I put this in the. I think I've heard you talk about them before, so you might be familiar with the I Create Comic Books group on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm in that. I've
So
had a couple posts deleted in there.
so I posted something in there. What was it? Last Saturday, just something. It was. I was sitting around thinking about it, and I was like, this is probably a controversial idea, but I think
What
it
was it?
a good idea. So I said hot take on the top of the post because I'm like, I know no one's gonna really think this is a good idea. But I was like, I'd rather spend $4,000 on a
Oh, I
social
saw
media
that.
than I would spend $4,000 on printing books. And yeah, everyone was just like, "What? No, duh!" Like someone posted a comment that literally just said, "Duh." I responded. I was like, "I can't tell if you're agreeing with me or not."
No,
responded again,
I
said,
saw
"Duh."
that.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I didn't even join in because I like started reading the comments and I went, You can't jump into a fight with people who are uneducated about the topic, you know, because like you could say, well, these are all the reasons why that could work, and they're like, but they don't even understand the concept. They're like, you can't sell anything on the internet. You're like, you're on the internet. What are you talking about? And so I read that post, and was like, you know what? If you could do an influencer marketing strategy where one, you could find an influencer who did have the ability, who did have the audience that could like shill, and if you
Yeah.
did pay them $4,000 and they would promote your book, absolutely, because you're now borrowing from their audience, and now you're collaborating, and if you do like something like if you were to use like Amazon, for example, and like do print on demand, you might not be like making as much as you would fulfilling it. But then that, I mean, you could just prepare. Like if you were like, well, I want to make the most money, then okay, then you have a ton of stock in your warehouse or your,
Mhm.
wherever you're doing it. But if not, then you have a print on demand strategy, and then that shit's going. But then you could that but then if you are using Amazon, it then could rank in the Amazon algorithm, and then you're getting the Amazon people buying it, and then you're able to tell your people, hey, we're like number one right now, and then your people are coming in, and then other people are like, wait, they're number one, what's going on? And it just becomes this wholly faceted thing. But once again, we just talked about how this one strategy will then build out on 5 different other strategies that'll pull in. And comic book creators are like, what is an influencer marketing strategy? Like they can't even get past that part. um and they also, they can't fathom, which is fair, because like resources can be very tight for all of us. I mean, because especially for writers, because they're
Mhm.
paying for the art team and whatnot, so they're like, why would I pay for marketing? So they can't fathom, paying someone $4,000 to market their own book. They're like, man, I don't even market my own book.
Yeah.
um but no, I like that. That's funny that was that was you. I saw the comments. I was like, my brother in Christ. I've been there. Good luck. Good
Well,
luck.
I had got the idea because I was listening to what's it Indie Comics Explained, Indie Comics Network. They do that
Oh, okay.
Talking Comics on a Sunday, and they were talking about somebody who had printed a bunch of books and just had them around the house, waiting to sell them at conventions or wherever. And I was just like, it's crazy how someone could end up doing that. And it's like, I get why, you're trying to keep the print costs for each per book down, so you buy as many as you can, and but then you end up with all these books. And I was like, really, honestly, like, because those print runs cost a couple grand. I'm like, I'd rather spend that on some kind of influencer marketing or Facebook ads. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, but why aren't other people doing it? And I was
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, it's because they're like, because when you tell people how do you sell a comic, they go, you sell a comic either in a store, on Kickstarter, or at a convention. And
yeah,
then it's only those three. And you're like, okay. What about Amazon? And they're like, oh, like no one sells comics on Amazon. And you're like, okay, wrong. What about a Shopify site, like your own website? Oh, what's Shopify? Okay, wrong. You could do it. You could start a TikTok account and like use their e-commerce platform if you have enough followers. I'm not dancing. You're like, okay, like these people are just so old. These people are just so old school that like they're just so limited in their mindset. And you're right. It's like, okay, like the reach someone on, I know what show you're talking about. It's JD Caldron show. He's a good friend. He's a good friend. I always tell him, I'm like, JD, I love your show, but I hate watching it because I yell at my screen so much because you have some of the worst guests on your show who have the worst opinions, and they're dumb. And he's like, you just got to bring them all on, Tyler. I'm like, don't ever bring these people back on. But they were like, you can reach more people. They one of their guests literally said this. They said, you can reach more people putting your book in a Texas grocery store than you could online. And I just went, I was like, okay, I'm going to pretend that I heard that wrong. So say that again.
Come on, Benny, man. The kid is a L7 Weenie.